Hey everyone, I'm Sam, one of your hosts of the Elite Real Estate Podcast. This is the 10X episode, the 10th episode, part 3 of our 10X Growth Conference. This is my partner, William McClelland. How's it going, Will?
Dude, all is good. All is good. This has been a fun series. I mean, geez, this is just so much information. I think honestly, we just need to go to a ton of really cool conferences like this, and we could probably do like a whole secondary podcast.
Dude, I almost sent you a link yesterday to the Vault conference. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was like about to drop a hint. I'm like, hey, my birthday's coming up, bro. Just saying, but
I did just pay our credit card, so these conferences aren't cheap.
No, definitely not. But no, GrowthCon I think is definitely worth it as far as conferences go that have a top speaker lineup. And next year is going to be the final year of GrowthCon, is what Grant says. The 10th year, so it'll be the 10th year and the final year of 10X GrowthCons. But man, let's pick up where we left off with Tim Grover. Just show everyone, I'm actually wearing my winning Clean Eats T-shirt. From this. Tim actually was a speaker at our Clean Eats convention this last year, and I just want to say, like, I was super stoked to hear him then. I was super stoked when I actually saw him the day before. He actually, I think, came, a day early to listen to some of the other speakers. And so I saw him the day before walking, and I was able to stop and shake his hand because Tim's, I would say, out of the top 5 most impactful books of my life, Tim wrote 2 of those. Relentless, the book Relentless. And then his second book that kind of follows that one up is Winning, hence the shirt I'm wearing, with the Winning shirt. But both of those books just had a huge impact on my life. It's really cool to listen. This guy was a strength and conditioning coach for Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, to name a few of his superstar top talent. I've seen him working and recently online with different football players, the NFL. I want to say it was, I'm not. I don't remember exactly which players. I don't want to name the wrong ones, but definitely he's the man in sports. And like I said, he's worked alongside of a lot of people that have won championships. I already named the 3. Yeah, he's the man. And so, I mean, I'll kind of go start with my first takeaway, and it's kind of a simple one. Always remember to clap for yourself.
Dude, yeah. I liked that.
Yeah. So, you just gotta remember. Sometimes you gotta be your cheerleader, and then growth and change happens when you take a step forward with your bad foot.
Yeah.
And so that's another one I thought. But man, I don't want to. I'm obviously a super fan of Tim Grover, so I don't want to steal it all. What's a couple of the ones you got, Will?
No, dude, I'm loaded. I think I took like 8 or 10 pages. So
this was one of my heavier note ones that I got. That's why, like I said, if you want to win in life, like Tim's got the knowledge. Well, I'm kind of plugging his books for him. I've read the physical copies. I've actually also listened to him on Audible. He's one of the few that I've done both on, doubled up on him. His books are great on Audible because he's the narrator, and you're feeling it. You're feeling his charisma and energy the whole time. So definitely it's great books to listen to during the workout. Listen to some things he trained with Kobe. One of the things too, which is kind of something I always think with Kobe is, Kobe's obsession with greatness. He said, interested is a hobby. Interested people watch, obsessed people change the world.
Dude, I love that. I had that, dude. I had that. You have to clap for yourself. And so, dude, that is, say that again for everybody.
It's I'm going to say both lines. Interested is a hobby. Interested people watch, obsessed people change the world. And so let's take it to the Kobe Bryant example of basketball. There's people when I was a kid, I was a little bit interested in basketball. I played for a couple seasons until I got, until I was, started playing real competition. And I realized I didn't love it, so I got out of it because I was just interested. I wasn't obsessed. Versus like you look at, if you read anything about Kobe's training regimen of training 3 and 4 times a day, he was obsessed with being the greatest basketball player to ever walk the earth. I know we still call MJ the GOAT, but but Kobe, I think we could all argue, was definitely the most obsessed with becoming the best. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Just going off of that, another little quote that he said was, "Real love kicks in when emotion is out."
Yeah. I wrote that down as well.
Interested people watch, obsessed people change the world, like you said. So be obsessed with the people that you love and the things that you love. I really liked that. Be obsessed with the people that you love and the things that you love. I also really liked how you said try. Eliminate that from your entire vocabulary, because the word try gives you a way out. Like if you
I've actually had my own personal development coach tell me to eliminate try, because you're either going to do it or you're not, but don't
totally.
try. Yeah.
I did my best versus I tried my best, because if you only tried your best, what were the things that hindered you from doing your best? Even if you come short, but you did your best, and that's what your ability was at that time. Going back to earlier parts of this episode and pretty much everything is like, if you continue to make a goal and you get 1% better, you don't even know what your new best is in 100 days, in 30 days,
right?
In a year, like I think that was really cool. Something else that I had that was more of like a visualization tactic is he was talking about, if you close your eyes and you sit in silence and you think of every win starts and finishes in the dark when it's just you and your thoughts. You have to be with you and your thoughts, and you have to be able to visualize what you want. He was talking about, if you can't visualize and you're not surrounding people who are talking about things for you to continue to think bigger and bigger and believe in yourself, then you won't be able to do it. Or it's a lot more difficult. He was saying, listen to the world that's inside of you, because it's infinite and it can grow as big as you want. He said you really have to reflect on things, and you have to understand the right times of remembering when people didn't believe in you. Most importantly, remembering when you didn't believe in you, and remembering times on when you fought against that negativity, like I don't know. He said the fight, and this was something I highlighted. The fight that you have to get over negative thoughts and things that have happened negatively in your life is your superpower. I love that, dude. I don't know.
For sure. And a little bit more kind of, some of the things that kind of really resonated with me too was when the price of winning is high, life balance is low. And then follow that up with, what's the number on a balanced scale? 0.
Yep.
And so, I thought that because, you hear a lot of people talk about work-life balance. And I think that's great at a certain level of life. But I also think if you have some really high goals and some high expectations for yourself, for you to reach that ultra high level, there's not balance. Like, you might be able to get balance once you get on that level, but to get to the level, there's not balance. I think if we look at, like, say, Elon Musk, for example, he doesn't live a balanced life. He constantly talks about sleeping in the office, like, to get more work. So and if you think about anyone whoever was like, a champion at something, reached a high level of something, very few times did they ever have a real balance in their life. It was all out of balance, fully obsessed with what they're doing. Going back to the obsession thing, and then then also, how to work with pressure on yourself. Pressure serves a purpose. Pressure defines who you are and who you can become. And people that thrive under pressure believe in themselves. In order to believe in yourself, you have to earn the right to believe in yourself. So, as far as, and that's something kind of add to that is like a lot of our insecurities that we all have is all because, you know, we lack confidence in ourselves, and we lack confidence in ourselves because we either haven't done it before, or we haven't done it enough to know we're sure of our ability to do it. And so, we have to do and work a whole lot in the dark by ourselves, so that way we can be, confident and ready when the time comes. And whether we're talking about, game time in sports, or the day, the meeting day in business, or closing day in business, or whatever, the day was that, you work to, you have to, put in the work in when no one's watching, and to earn that right to believe in yourself.
Dude, totally. Something that I really liked, was a saying that we probably all know, is like, put your best foot forward, lead with your best foot forward. And he said that's something that we were taught from a young age, that only allows you to do things when things are good. Because if you step with your bad foot forward, that's when growth and resilience can begin to live. That's where they live, is in the bad areas. So if you lead with that and you can correct that, you're able to live out the full version of yourself. I thought that was pretty cool, because you're always hearing like, lead with your best foot forward, things like that. And I thought that one was really cool. It kind of was like, sometimes you have those things that kind of shift your thinking. And that's just like a cliche that we all think of. Go with your best foot forward. And he's like, that's the easy way out, So something that I really liked as well, kind of on that thought of like really changing things that we hear all the time, is motivation isn't what you need, because motivation doesn't work, because motivation requires someone else to light the fire in you.
Mm-hmm.
Elevation is the state of the mind where you create your own energy and you're able to trust yourself.
Right. Elevation over motivation.
Yeah. Not saying that you shouldn't be with people and get motivated and be part of groups and things like that. That's what Sam and I do every single day with each other. But there's that moment when you're in the dark, and like he kept saying, the jungle is always prepared. So what are you going to do to that? You have to rise to that occasion. And elevation is over motivation. That's really what's going to make you lead with that bad foot. And then next thing you know, the bad foot is the good foot. So now you have something new, and you're always pushing yourself 1% better. So that was cool.
No, definitely. And then I think kind of the last couple things I wrote down were every single day you should have a childlike moment, back when you were free, and I thought that was another kind of good thing to think about, back before you had pressure and responsibilities, commitments and bills, when you could just be free to live life and ask questions.
Yep. Dude, I totally agree. I love that, being able to bet on yourself. That's something that you want to be on the edge of your seat for yourself. You want to be able to believe in life and get the life that you want, just as if you were at NBA finals and you were watching NBA, or you were watching MJ, or you were watching Kobe, or you were watching anyone. Like, you should have that type of excitement, edge of your seat for yourself. But only doing that by every day, you should have a childlike moment to be free. I loved that, dude. Mm-hmm. And he said sometimes the best way to do that is to not overthink or overanalyze things, but just be in that moment, live through the truth of the bad and the good. A lot of people are always just trying to live out the good, or portray themselves on the good, especially with social media and things like that. Right. You see other people and they're doing all these trips and stuff. Well, okay, like, are they doing that every day? Or, are they actually going to set up? Are they thinking, going to another episode, 10 lifetimes ahead or what, So the hardest thing, at least for me, is like that he highlighted, is you have to let your mind be clear. That's one of my most difficult things, and something that I've really been trying to work on this year. Because, dude, it's tough sometimes. Like, as much as you want to meditate or do whatever makes you feel comfortable to kind of gather those thoughts, you have to be able to assess yourself. But kind of in closing, that he did that was super powerful, and I'm sure Sam felt it, is like, he ended with, really nothing matters except for your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is the most valuable asset that you have.
Dude,
That's
spot on. And that kind of goes into the whole health is wealth thing, because I mean,
totally.
what is wealth if you don't have your health? Like, I mean, that old saying goes like, if I gave you $1 million today, but you had to die tomorrow, would you take it? And if the answer is no, it's okay. So you value your life more than $1 million? Yeah, when it's put like that, it's very easy for someone to make a choice, but people don't realize that a lot of times we're making that choice every single day.
Totally.
It's like it's like what do we? I don't want to go on a whole tangent how people are supposed to live or anything, but like the foods you eat every day are going to lead to you either being an in shape person or an out of shape person. I know that from personal experience because I've gone in both directions. And I know from experience that when I'm when I'm doing like I said, the things that the wrong things over, I lead myself to not so great results, versus like when I steadily do the right things over leads to the great results. But man, you have anything else you want to say on Tim? Or are you ready to hop on to the Super Bowl legend Peyton Manning?
Well, actually, kind of going on that, they teed up really nicely, and I don't know if it was the lineup, but they actually had Gary Brecka. It was like
let's talk about Gary a little bit.
Just a little bit. He came on, he talked about 10x Health, and if you're not familiar with him, I mean, he is like a health guru, talking like really trying to spread awareness of what's happening to really our supplies that are needed to live, our needs, and how it's still being beat down by capitalism. And literally they're watering down our water. They're taking away our clean air. He was kind of pointing out how polluted, especially in city dense or dense cities, how polluted the air is, because they're just limiting or they're releasing limits on restrictions for these large energy companies and large companies and factories that are just like polluting the air because they're funding the government who are writing the laws, and it's killing all of us inherently. And you might be super healthy, you're going on a 5-mile run in the wrong spot, and you're getting chemicals in your bloodstream.
Right. I'm actually on the 10x Health supplements. I know I told you that, and they got a new technology coming out that I went ahead and signed up for to take a new test that I guess has a better, a higher absorption rate of the vitamins through their new little bead packs that they have. They're customized. Real cool how they do a DNA methyl analysis on you, and see what you need specifically. And when Gary was talking, it's just kind of like run through like all the people that are actually buying into the 10x Health, idea, like Dana White, the whole UFC. You see
Right.
A lot of the athletes that were on stage. I think they're doing stuff with the NFL as well.
Yep.
So I mean, 10x Health is something that I think it's about to blow really big, and you're probably going to see a 10x Health clinic near you very soon.
Yeah. So, I mean, some other cool things, like outside of just 10x Health, that he was just informing the audience is like how polluted our water is with just chemicals, not just fluoride, which is pretty open knowledge now, which if we were to do this, 2 decades ago, people didn't really realize they're drinking like a ridiculous amount of fluoride in their tap water.
Right.
Because that's the cheapest way for the water companies to clean it, to make it, potable drinking water. But he was really just stretching the essence of saying the body needs raw materials, and to find those raw materials has almost become impossible. Even if you're in like rural areas where you're getting this farm raised cattle and things like that, like it's almost at a point where you have to be your own farmer to know what's going in, because even if that farmer is allowing free range, like pasteurized chickens and cows and things like that, if they're getting the wrong like manure and things to help the grass seed and things like that, it can mess up the whole process of what you're putting in your body, which is kind of crazy because he was talking about how intelligent the body is and how it can actually heal itself. But to do that, it has to go, back to how the body was 5, 6, 7 centuries ago when things were, clean. It was
less mess with by man.
Yeah. So he said, currently, like, I don't want to butcher it, but I think he said 85% of the soil in the U.S. is missing the nutrients that are needed for Homo sapiens. Like,
wow.
What? Yeah, it was something insane like that because he said it's the entire first layer where the plants are being built have so many chemicals that have soaked in, and it actually goes through the whole water cycle, and so it's picking up, evaporating these chemicals that are, standing pools on top where the water is kind of sitting, and it's going back into those areas and just kind of recycling. But something I really liked in closing is he said, you're healthy if you can sleep like a bear and you're as horny as a lion. He said those should be your goals because that's the basis of what mankind is. Like we're the top of the food chain. We shouldn't be worried about why the food chain is diluted in what we're putting in our bodies. So anyway, getting off of 10X Health, let's move into the legend, dude. One of the legends of the game, Peyton Manning, dude.
Dude, Peyton Manning, definitely a legend, 2-time Super Bowl champion. And just an all-around good guy. Man, his dry humor is like next level.
So funny, dude.
You're like if you're not paying attention, you will miss some jokes because he's like one joke after another, but there's no cracks, no smiles. He's just like straight talking. So it's like you got to be listening to what it is the punchline. I mean, just it's like one example was like something like, I got the podcast with my brother Eli. I got to keep him employed. It's kind of thing, and it's like, but he just said it so casually. It's like they always knock on that Eli's the dumb brother. So like I said, just funny guy, but
super funny guy, and dude, so quick. Yeah, like you said, so quick witted. And the thing is he would, like you were saying, he doesn't even crack a smile. Like he was hating on himself
with the dryness.
Dude, it was so dry. He's like, yeah, I know I'm on every commercial, but it pays the bills. He's just like on to the next thing, like, making fun because that's like trending that everybody's making fun of him.
Dude, kind of back on the what Anthony Scaramucci said. Here's a successful guy, extremely humble, like Peyton Manning.
Humble.
Like he would be like a guy you would just meet at the golf club, like at your kid's recital. I mean, he just like seems like such a regular, relatable guy. But then, like I say, he's a Super Bowl legend. And then one of his kind of on the success topic. One thing I liked was take care of the little things. The big things will take care of themselves. And that's one of the things that he said. And I
have that in here. The little things do matter. He put an emphasis. The little things do matter.
You're right. And I 100% agree. I mean, I kind of think over to my restaurant businesses, for example. Man, it's the little things we do that make people, real fans that want to keep coming back. It's like remembering someone's name, remember what they get. Those little things are the reason why like people will, pick mine to come back to, versus like I just trying another place because like, oh no, they remember like the carrots. And like I said, it's the little things that matter. And then one other thing another thing he said that I really liked is we should never stop being coached. And that's something else I fully agree that we should never stop learning. We're never going to be, we're never going to reach, God status as far as we know everything, So, we always got to be, looking at how we can improve and looking who to coach us too, So, Does always be ready to be coached, but also, like I said, don't take coaching from just every random person out there. Only take coaching from people that are doing something that you want to be doing, that they're doing it well, and so they know how to coach you. Because bad coaching is worse than no coaching.
Yeah, dude, I have that. I have that same thing. Always be coaching, but understanding preparation is key. Treat practice every day like it's the real thing. I thought that was cool.
On that line, be prepared. Have a plan in every situation. So like I said, it kind of goes right in with what you're saying about practice like it's the real thing.
Yeah, dude, totally. I also liked how he led a team, but he gave plenty of examples on where he had to earn respect, but he needed to understand that he needed to have
on that point. Just kind of like elaborate a little bit. Yeah, he talked about how when he left the Colts and went to the Broncos, like he was already, let's keep rewind history back a little bit. He was a Super Bowl champion at the Colts, so he came into the Broncos locker room already an NFL veteran, already a Super Bowl winner. Most people would think like, hey, they would just assume they're the boss and they'd kind of have the ego to go with it day one. But he realized, he talked about how he didn't just go in there right away like that he built, charisma and earned the respect. And like I said, I just want to interject that, what Will was talking about, of the actual an example and story he gave, because I thought that was pretty cool that even changing locker rooms, already an NFL veteran, and someone that everyone looks up to as a winner. How, like I said, even at that status of life, he was still, walking into locker rooms humble, earning respect before giving out orders.
Yeah, he specifically said that you have to earn the respect. You can't just expect respect.
Leadership is the ability to influence others.
Yep, having support, practice. And the practice allows you to believe in yourself. So you need to create the right team, surround yourself with that right team, and then practice what you're trying to work on, because the more that you practice, the easier it is to believe in yourself. It's hard to visualize something one time and then expect it to happen. That doesn't ever really happen.
I have it here. The most talented people were the hardest working and most selfless, as something he said about his teammates.
He said that the way to do that is you have to be the first in and the last out. I think we might have just copied each other's notes at this point.
Yeah. I think we were definitely watching the same guy, and both have similar minds in terms of what we thought was good stuff.
Yeah, I do like how he was talking about his life after football and how he utilizes those tactics in business. And he said, now he has the ability to control and not what's happening on the field, but what's happening in the whole business. So he was talking about he always takes a lot of time when he hires people, because he wants to hire people that are accountable. He didn't always have that luxury. He was the quarterback, but he's not the GM, right? So he's not the one signing the checks. He has to learn how to manipulate and work and build that team culture. But now that he's a business person, which I thought was really great and really great for this exact podcast, is if you take the time to hire the right people, the culture will be inherent, and then it'll just allow you to elevate and grow faster within that business, So I thought that was a good point that he had made. And it's also cool to see how well he's doing, after football. He's just pushing it in all these commercials. He has his own show. He's a podcast. He's doing, he's got his hands in 10 different pies,
Well, and like I said, but before we end on him, I know we gotta be conscious of your time and stuff. But the one thing I also thought was really cool is how he's real involved with his kids' lives. And then one of the reasons Grant actually had him up is not just Peyton's success, but the success of the whole Manning family. I mean, father Super Bowl champ, 2 sons Super Bowl champ. There's now in the third generation, I think it's the non-football playing brother's son is a college star now, and has pretty high prospects of going to the NFL. one day as the third generation Manning in there. So, that's not an accident. And like that was one of the things I think Grant wanted to show the crowd, just a good example of a family being supportive and involved. Peyton talked about how he's there for his kids' sports now, just the way his dad was at his events and stuff. And so I think, again, when you want to study successful people and the formula of success of what works in most situations, it's really cool seeing the high level of success that they've had in amongst their whole family. And like I said, the level of involvement. That was kind of, like I said, just one more side takeaway that I had on them. But you have
I think something interesting too is like, I had a couple other things. He was saying that it's he was in the NFL for a long time, and now he's in business, and he's becoming a veteran in business. And he was saying sometimes building that culture, it's not about who the most athletic or who the biggest star talent is. I thought that was really interesting. Like sometimes people get these number one draft picks, but then they end up not doing as well, on the big stage because they're not willing and selfless. He said he's had some of the people in the locker room that might be really underrated, but they were willing, they were selfless, they went in, they put in the hours, and he would take that over talent any day. And he said the same thing in business too. So being able to find people who are accountable. And he said in closing, I thought something really cool, which it's funny because we're on a podcast and Sam and I are like bouncing ideas back and forth. But he said some of the biggest ways to show respect is being a good listener. And he said being a quarterback, you're supposed to be leading this team, but the best times and some of the best play calls that he's ever made were listening to other people in the huddle. So he said he was really known for doing audibles, but they weren't always just from him. He was listening to, he was listening to his wide receivers, or he was listening to his tight end saying like, hey, I think we can hit this and going with it. So, but something that was cool is when it didn't work, he would take responsibility, and he mentioned, because it's his idea to be a good listener. And in the end, it was his idea, to call the audible to listen to them. And if it didn't work, he owned that responsibility. So, but yeah, tons of fun. So you want to talk about our the next people we listen to?
Yeah. So John and Pete Nigerian.
Yeah, dude. Legends.
Yeah, these are money guys.
Options legends. Well, and they played in the NFL. The guys are
other guys. Success in the NFL translate to the stock exchange. And the cool thing about these guys is, I didn't write a lot because I was more just like through all listening. But the one thing I did write was follow the smart money.
Follow the smart money. Dude, I have that star right here. Just follow the smart money. It's there.
Yeah. So like basically these guys, I don't know, they didn't break out exactly how they did it, but apparently they have some kind of technology that basically scrapes major trades, so that way they're aware of when major trade action is happening. And so they really study Nancy Pelosi, to name one politician who's got a very successful trading record amongst others. Yeah, it's both sides. It's not just Democrat or Republican. There's
he just said because and the reason they do that is that there's a caveat that they can legally trade with insider information. It's allowed. So he's like the playbook is there. If people know what's happening and they're passing laws to do it, he said, why would we not just do exactly what they're doing? He said they're not making huge trades to lose money.
100%. And I'm gonna go ahead and interject that I think that's wrong. Like, I don't think our politicians should be allowed to trade individual commodities or stocks at all.
They made that apparent, but then they said, like, if they can do it,
but yeah, you should follow it.
Yeah, we should
100%. Because like I said, it's I've studied a lot of Nancy Pelosi's trades. So that's why she's stuck out in my mind a little bit. But she's got a higher success record than Warren Buffett. Statistically, it's like kind of questionable. This lady who's in Congress is gonna, beat the world's richest person. You're one of the world's richest people in trading. Probably the world's best known investor. It's just it's a little suspect without insider info, but definitely, like I said, follow the smart money. And they were all about options. So options was the big thing that they do and where they find success. And we're a real estate podcast. We don't go too deep in stocks and stuff. But what I thought was really kind of a cool takeaway there is they were talking about the risk factor and how you don't have to risk nearly as much to take an option on something going up or down versus actually buying and holding the stock itself. So definitely something I thought was cool. What else did you have on John and Pete? Because I want to make sure we have time to go over our last speaker.
Yeah, dude. I think something interesting that he was talking about were their best investments. So they listed what the best investments that you can do. They said yourself, number one, your business, real estate, and smart money on Wall Street. He said, just follow that smart money. It gives you leverage, but also it gives you patterns, and patterns are easy to follow. And they're going to be coming out with some more public information. They created this algorithm, which I thought was really interesting, where they've just been following trends for almost 2 decades now. There was a point in time where they were trading for executives at the highest level of some of the biggest firms on Wall Street. And they were doing as much as 100 million options trading a day. And we're not talking about like one day. We're talking about they're trading hundreds of millions of dollars on options for years, every single day. It was kind of funny. They were like, so how much money do you think you guys have traded? And they're like, hundreds of billions. And I'm like, dude, what the heck? That's so crazy.
It's definitely just raises your belief lid on what you think is possible when you hear about people casually handling billions of dollars. Like it's just what they do. It's not a special day or anything. It's just it's just a Tuesday.
Some interesting things that they were talking about is being disciplined. You have to understand on how to prepare yourself properly. So if you can properly prepare yourself, then you'll be ready for the fight. Understanding things within the market. So understanding what puts are, understanding what calls are puts. When you buy something to protect a bet, or that something will go up or something will go down, that's kind of the basis of what they're doing with options. And something I really liked is they said, no matter what field, no matter what you're doing, there's always someone who knows, if it's not completely versed in what you're trying to do because you're visualizing something that's never been done before, there's someone that's made steps towards this, So like, having that team and being able to do things. He said one of the most important thing about discipline is learning from your losses, which I think is critical. Sometimes we don't necessarily benchmark and overlay some of the really, really bad things or decisions or series of things that happened. We just look at that end result, that it was bad and you're not going to do it again. But there might be some, a couple different things that you were doing that were leading up to that, that you don't want to repeat as well. So he was really big on getting education, investing in education. And obviously he was like, you need to know derivatives, calls, puts, futures, options, know your risk tolerance, and then be able to understand fundamental analysis. And just, those are all things that they teach, which are really, really all cool. I really liked them. And it just kind of blows my mind that they were just trading hundreds of millions of dollars on a daily basis. But that's about it. Those guys are really cool. And they took their talents on and off the field. But dude, you want to talk about our in speaker?
Yeah, man. They finished it up with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's Man, really cool to see him. I've been a fan of bodybuilding and weightlifting for years, so I've definitely actually the first guy I started working out with that had Arnold posters in the garage. So really cool to see. But man, just first thing I wrote down that he said that I wrote was have a goal, a clear vision, and work your ass off.
Dude, I had that, except I really liked how he said the way to get people to like you is you have to be useful and work your ass off in all caps.
Yeah. You have to have a purpose. Don't listen to the naysayers when you are determined to reach your dreams. And then I love this Ted Turner quote he gave: "Early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise."
I loved it.
Those were some of my main ones. Man, what were some of the things that he said that you really liked?
Yeah, dude, have a goal, understand how to create a clear vision to that goal, work your ass off. I loved it. But something that was really interesting that he kind of started off early, which is a trend in some of these speakers, is he said you have to be a kid. You have to be excited about things, and he was talking about how every day, whenever he came to the US, he was excited just to be here. And he had a goal and he had a vision that he wanted to be, a world weightlifting champion. And then from there, he also wanted to be an actor. And so what was he going to do? He was taking all the steps. He was working out 6 hours a day. And then he would then go to work, wake up early.
And he wanted to be an action superstar, not just an actor. Like he was
right.
like he had it, like he wanted to be a Hollywood star. Like it wasn't just making it. It was like he wanted to be top guy in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he would work. He would then go to work. And then from there, he would take acting classes late at night, so he was doing all the steps to make these,
and he's talking about doing speech classes too, to help get rid of his accent,
Yep.
They used to say he wouldn't be able to ever have a leading role with an accent like that, and did he prove them wrong? I
thought something that was really funny that he kind of started off talking about was he saw what was happening in California and he said, I'm going to do something about it. And this one was like a really fast turnaround of a vision and a goal. He put his name on the ballot, and 2 months later, he's the governor of California.
Really? When he recapped that, I guess like it's crazy because like we were totally around when that happened.
Yeah,
like I did not remember it happening that quick. But I guess
2 months. That's crazy.
I guess it did. Yeah. A couple more things that he said that I really liked was don't get angry. We have to be more forgiving and understanding. And then, the last thing I wrote down that he said, which is like it's an underlying deal. Every single day I ask myself, how can I improve?
Dude, and, I love it.
Yeah, and that goes back to I'm about trying to be 1% better every day. Yeah, just every single day, ask yourself, what can I work on today that's going to make me better? Or what can I get better at today? And so it's just
after he said that, I have it written down here. He said every workout, every rep, that was what gave him the opportunity to get one step closer to becoming Mr. Universe. He had a vision, and his vision was clear. Wanted to be Mr. Universe, wanted to be a movie star, wanted to make millions, and he wanted to be an action star. And he said, it doesn't matter what your goal is. The rules are the same. Do not listen to the naysayers. Have your vision, stay hungry, and do not listen to no. I love those.
Nah, man, I think yeah, he was definitely very inspirational. So I was very excited to see him, and it was he was definitely a really cool closeout speaker. But man, the whole 3 days that like I said, a couple months ago at this point, by the time this podcast is put out on air, but GrowthCon, great event, highly recommend it. And I highly recommend just investing in yourself, like whether it's, GrowthCon or another conference, if you have particular interests, like, for Will and myself, as we're very business oriented people. So usually business, real estate is kind of what we're attracted to. But whatever industry it is you're interested in, look into doing conferences and different things that can help spark thoughts in your brain and help you enhance your skills. 'Cause I know Will and I both walked away from that conference with a lot of tidbits that I think added to our everyday lives. What do you think, man?
Dude, totally. And I've just got so many other crazy things. Like the craziest part that I found out about him is that he didn't even make $1 million for being Terminator.
Dude, that was crazy. Yeah, like, but then
with 750,000. But something that was more interesting that he made a point about is he was already a millionaire by the time he did Terminator. But he was a millionaire from real estate. Something that he did is he worked every single day, not only in the gym, not only at acting classes, but he had a job and he just kept saving money. He lived in a small like studio apartment near the beach where he paid very little rent. And he was able to buy an apartment building. He gave us all the numbers, 240,000. It was 6 units. And he was able to put $27,500 down. 2 years later, he sold it for $400,000. Then he went to a 12 unit, did the same thing. 2 years later, he went to a 36 unit. He said he always, what's up?
I say, yeah, he just kept trading up, every 1031 is the next bigger one. Yeah.
He said, I'd always trade up. But the big thing on where he did make a lot of money from Terminator is because he was only taking $750,000 for all the acting. He signed a deal, dude, to 37.5% ownership of Terminator, of everything, toys, obviously the movie, the rides at Universal Studios, like 37.5%. The guy.
So, and beyond that, another cool thing, kind of where he's just like, because that's when you realize, like, Arnold's not just that; he's a shrewd businessman. Like
yes,
he's a killer. He's a killer in business. But he was talking about how no one wanted to let him make a comedy, when he was an action star, and so he worked out a deal to where him and it was Danny DeVito and who else was in that? I'm blanking on the name of the movie, but it was Twins, I think was the name of the movie. But it was basically, like I said, he ended up fronting all the money and like owned a large percentage of it. And the production company thought they were really winning, like, because they thought the thing would flop, and it was like a huge success. And I think I can't remember how much money he made on that movie, but it was like he ended up owning, I think, 2/3 of the movie rights or something for that, And
yeah, it was Twins and Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. And so, it was just like I said,
deals is he was talking about how he started funding the movies that he was in, and then he would own it after he did that Terminator deal.
Right. It's like, it's really cool to, like I said, see that someone who believed in themselves so much to where it's like, yeah, I'll do that for this, like then the people think they're getting away with not having to pay him anything. And then back end, he makes all the money. Totally. So
really good. Yeah.
It was definitely a lot to be learned. Like I said, from listen to his story and his. Yeah, it's just cool to hear about someone who came to America, had the American dream, and you fulfilled their American dream. So it was really cool to see.
Yeah, dude, I thought something cool is he said that advertising and promotion is key, but you have to be smooth with promotion. And you could have the best business in the world, but if it's unknown, it's still worse than the worst business in the world that is known.
Hey, so one of Grant's famous quotes is the best known product will beat the best product every time.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite lines when it comes to marketing, because no matter how great your product is, if no one knows about it, it's not going to be the best sold one, which is what you really want to be.
Yeah. And something cool that he was like, and this is cool because, like Sam was saying, he came from another country, but he believed in himself. Excuse me. And he said something that he always kept in mind was everyone is different. Everyone has different thoughts. Everyone has different backgrounds. Everyone has different views. Everyone has different policies. They have different tastes. They that you cannot prejudge someone based off of their upbringing and what their views are, because you weren't in their shoes, So he said he always kept it, and still to this day, he tries not to get mad or worked up for people who have different views or opinions, but instead he questions, and he always asks, because then once you understand a little bit more about how that person was raised or why they believe in something, you have more background into saying what you believe in and things like that. But then B, most importantly, you can become more forgiving and more understanding. And he was really talking about, again, being humble. He said the most important thing in life is not to take life itself or yourself too seriously. And I love that. Yeah.
No, definitely. Now you can definitely still tell he's a kid at heart, especially when he was talking about his Hummers versus Grant's Hummers, and
oh yeah, that was so funny.
Whose Hummers are better? So,
yeah.
They're like, it's like my Hummer's got this, so it's really cool. Grants were bulletproof, so like that was, pretty neat. So
good. I've got a lot more notes. Did you have any other notes?
That was about what I had on Arnold. But man, what else you have?
Dude, I'm just gonna. He ran down like a couple things. He said, find your passion, find your dream, believe in your dream, have that passion, hold on to the passion, have the goal, have the vision, know your vision, not wishing, not wanting others' visions or dreams, but understanding yours. Know when to be silent. Work at finding your dream and your vision and not falling into others. Always take the time to be silent and think. He said that's the only way you can actually know what you truly want. And then he said to do that, you have to dream big, And I loved that.
Definitely, it's all about going big at 10x.
Totally. And something that I really liked is how open he was, because he said, do not be have fear of failure. Everyone fails. When he did the 500-pound bench press, he failed 10 times in 10 different competitions. I thought this was interesting, but he did it on the 11th competition. And this was before he was super famous. He kept failing. He wasn't able to do it, but on the 11th, so he failed 10 times, and he was paying a lot of money. He was talking about he was having to pay to enter these competitions. So every time he would fail and lose, you don't get paid anything out, So he was investing in himself. And on the 11th time, he did it, 500-pound bench press, which is just nuts. So he was just talking about resilience. If you fall, you got to get up. And he said, losers stay down. Losers stay down. Winners get up,
Yeah.
But dude, I can't tell you how much fun I had with you. It was just an incredible experience. Hopefully we could shed a little bit of what we gathered on this 3-part series. It was totally fun.
It was 3 days, and we did 3 episodes on it, basically. So I mean, it was definitely, like I said, I don't get any commission off of recommending GrowthCon or anything like that, but it was a fun event. I'm already signed up for next year. I think Will's going to be going back with me again next year. And dude, it's a great event that I highly recommend. But any conference where you can go learn and get around, great people who achieved high levels of success, so you can hopefully see some of the things that worked out for them that can work out for you. I definitely recommend going. So it's all about model mimicking, mastering. So find a great model to watch, mimic what they do until you master what they do. And model, mimic, and master. That's actually a Brandon Dawson quote from the 10X group that he's over at Cardone Ventures. But definitely something you want to do, and it's a lot easier to do when you go to events where you can watch great people and go to them with your great partners, like I was able to do with my buddy Will here.
Yep. Yeah, it was amazing time. Thanks so much. And thanks Clean Eats for making this possible for us to get this podcast. About to go cook. Actually, today I'm not having a pizza. Today I'm
Oh,
not having pizza.
What's
No.
what you having today? You got a meal prep meal going in the microwave?
Dude, you know it. You know it, dude. Well, actually, one of the best meals I've ever had was having a games wrap at the cafe with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude.
So the Gaines wrap is only available at my Queen Eats locations because
Yeah.
it's named after my dog Gaines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's 8-ounce bison wrap.
Bison, baby.
Yeah, half-pound of bison in that thing. So it's a fire wrap.
Yeah. So where can they find you though, Sam?
Yeah, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can go to my Instagram at Sam_FloridaMan, and as well as check out our website, the Elite Real Estate Podcast. EliteRealEstatePodcast.com is a great place for you to go subscribe to our future podcast episodes, as well as subscribing to our newsletter that we're putting out every week, and also getting on our our buyers list for our wholesale properties. Will, where's a good spot for people to be able to reach you? If they want to just talk to you directly.
Yeah, dude, you can just do Elite REIFL, just like a podcast. .W McClelland. That's me, man. So send us any deals you want us to check out. Anything that you're curious on. If you want a joint venture, just like what Sam said, we're super excited. Check out our website. We're going to have links to all the podcasts on there, future episodes, past episodes. We're really stoked on this and sharing information. And we were looking forward to doing deals with you guys. So make sure to fill out. It takes like literally 20 seconds to fill out the little questionnaire. And it just helps us get to know what type of investor you are or what type of business you're in.
What you're interested in so we can help you.
So we can help you. Yeah, exactly. So whatever gives us a little bit more information so we can kind of, separate out where you'd be best to getting what types of emails. Because the big thing is we just are trying to give you information, but we don't want to blow you guys up. We want to give stuff that's relevant to you. So, dude,
we're not going to spam sell your information. So,
it's been a super fun series with you, Sam. I am just like so stoked, and dude, I'm excited to have our first big guest on the 11th episode, dude. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be exciting. Well, that'll be our second guest, because remember on episode 9 we had but definitely come and check us out on the next episode. We look forward to seeing you guys there.
Yeah, thanks again, guys.